Good morning everyone. Welcome to SST College of Arts and Commerce. This is SST Edupedia. I am Deepika Valecha, Assistant Professor in SST College. In the previous video, we have seen the topic which is capital budgeting and introduction, its advantages, disadvantages, objectives of capital budgeting, its need and importance, and also the various techniques involved in capital budgeting. Now, in this video, we will be taking the 2 to 3 techniques, and on those techniques, how we can calculate the project evaluation based on those techniques. See, we have techniques of capital budgeting involves traditional and the modern techniques. So today, first we will be seeing traditional techniques relating to the capital budgeting. It involves the various methods such as payback period method, payback profitability method, and we have average rate of return method. Now we'll see first what is payback period method. As the name suggests, this method refers to the period in which the proposal will generate cash to recover its initial investment made. It purely emphasizes on the cash inflows and the economic life of the project, and also the investment made in the project, with no consideration to the time value of money. However, as the method suggests, it is based on the thumb rule that it doesn't consider the importance of time value of money and so the relevant dimensions of profitability. So here purely we think about the payback period. That means what? If I made an investment of 1 lakh rupees, and if the project life is for example, if it is 5 years, if that particular investment gives or generates the cash inflows of, say for example, 20,000, if I am getting 20,000 in a year out of that investment of 1 lakh, that means how many years it will take to pay back the investment amount. So here if we talk about, like, if I invested 1 lakh divided by 20,000, that means it requires 5 years to recover my investment. So accordingly, in the question we have various projects available. On the basis of those projects, we will analyze like which project is better. See, considering the thumb rule, as and when we are getting our investment back quickly, that project is most profitable. For example, project A is having a payback of 2 years and project B is having an payback period of 5 years. So project A is good because we are getting or we are recovering our investment in 2 years compared to that of the 5 years. So accordingly we can find out which project is better in terms of the payback period. Coming to the advantages and disadvantages of payback period, it is easy to understand, it is very simple method, and also it is related to the only and only liquidity. If we talk about the disadvantages or demerits about this project, it ignores the time value of money. See, the value of money per year changes as per the time and also as per the inflation rate. But in this method, we are not considering any time value of money concept. So this is the demerit of limitation of this particular method. It requires an arbitrary cutoff point. It ignores the cash inflows beyond the cutoff point, and also it is biased against the long-term projects such as research, development, and the new projects. So here in this point, in this method, we only focus on the cash inflows and cash outflows. Other things are not considered in this particular method. It's a traditional method and it is easy to understand. Now let's see what are the various formulas relating to this method for calculating the and for evaluating the various projects. Here we have first of all, we have two types of methods. In this payback period method only, we have two types of sums we can say. One, where we have the cash inflows, that is the revenue which we are generating out of the project, which are uniform in nature. What do you mean by uniform? Uniform refers to we are getting the equal amount of inflows every year. Say for example, we are earning 20,000 per year. That is, there is no change in the inflow. And if we have that kind of a sum, the formula is payback period is equals to initial investment, that is the cash outflow what we have made for the purpose of investing in that project, divided by the cash inflows, that is the uniform amount of inflow which we are getting every year. Number two, we have payback profitability. Now in this method only we can find out the payback profitability. The formula for calculating the same is annual cash inflow into life of the project, that is given in the question, minus payback period. Now what do you mean by cash inflow? Cash inflow refers to a purely the liquid amount of a cash which we are getting. It is ignoring the depreciation. That means if we have deducted the amount of a depreciation for calculating the profit, we are supposed to add back that depreciation amount. So simply the formula for calculating net cash inflow is net profit after tax plus depreciation. So this is very important in this point. Now see example relating to the first type. There is a company which is ABC Limited, which is considering an investment project of 10 lakhs, and annual cash inflow from that project is 2,50,000 per year. We need to calculate the payback period and also payback profitability if the life of the project is given as 7 years. Now in this question, as we can see, the initial investment amount which is of 10 lakhs rupees. Every year the inflow, that is the amount of revenue which we are earning, which is 2,50,000. So as per the formula, how we can calculate? The formula is what? Investment divided by annual cash inflow. So that is 10 lakhs divided by 2,50,000. So the payback period will be 4 years. That means what? That means I am going to get my the investment amount return in 4 years. Coming to the payback profitability, in this formula we need annual cash inflow which is of 2,50,000 into life of the project minus payback period. What is the life of the project? It is 7 years minus 4, that is payback period, which we have already calculated. So once we calculate this by applying the formula, we'll get the payback profitability as 7,50,000. Now if we come to the second type of a sum in payback period, we have when the cash inflows are not uniform. That means every year the company is or that project is generating the various types of amount of uniform different cash flows. Like for first year the company has that particular project has earned 2 lakhs. For the second year it may be 50,000, it may be 8 lakhs and so on. So if we don't have uniform cash inflows, so the formula for calculating payback period will be payback period is equals to year before full recovery plus unrecovered cost at the start of the year divided by cash flow during the year. Now let's understand this formula with the help of one example. See, we have a machine which costs rupees 2,80,000. That is the initial investment which we are going to make, and it is expected to produce the cash flows as per the given table. We have the data for 6 different years. Cash flow generated is not uniform. That is, every year the cash inflow is different. We need to calculate the payback period. Now for solving this sum, we need to follow some certain steps. First of all, we have to calculate the cumulative cash flow. Now what do you mean by cumulative? As we are calculating the cumulative frequency, accordingly we are supposed to calculate the cumulative cash flow. Here, as given in the table, we have to find, first of all, we are supposed to write the details about cash flow of every year. How we can calculate the cumulative? First, for the first year, the cash flow will be same, that is 50,000. For the second year, how we will calculate? We will add 50,000 with that of the 57,000, that the cash flow of the second year. So 50 plus 57, that will be 1,07,000. Then 1,07,000 will be added with 40,000, that will be getting the 1,47,000. And accordingly, we can add all the cash flow, with that of the cumulative amount, will get the cumulative cash flow at the end of 6 years, that is 2,82,000. Now we'll apply this formula. First of all, we need to see the column of cumulative cash flow. In this column, we need to check when we are going to recover our investment. The amount of investment is 2,80,000. So in this cumulative column, if we see in the 6th year, we are getting 2,82,000. That means the year of full recovery is 6th year. But as per the formula, we need year before full recovery. So before 6, the year is 5. So we'll write 5 plus amount not recovered. Till 5th year, we have recovered 2,52,000. So the total investment is 280. So out of 280, we have recovered 252. So what we are going to do? We subtract this amount, 2,80,000 minus 252, divided by cash flow of year of full recovery. So the year in which we recovered the whole amount, which is the 6th year. In that year, the cash flow is 30,000. So that 30,000 we are going to write in the denominator. So once we calculate this formula, we'll get the payback period as 5.9, that is approximately 6 years. So in this way, we can calculate the amount of, or else you can say the number of years of payback with the help of this formula. Now we have the another method, which is discounted period method. This payback period method comes into the modern techniques of traditional capital budgeting. Here in this method, the time value of money is considered. We have to solve the sum as per the formula which we have discussed right now. The same formula we are going to calculate, only the values which we are going to take, that will be the discounted values. What do you mean by discounted values? We are going to consider the time value of money, which is the particular percentage of PV factor, that is present value factor, which is given in the question. Based on that, we will calculate. So here, if you can see, the question is, a company wants to make the investment in either of the two projects. We have the data of two projects, project A and project B. We have a data of project 1, which is project A. We need to calculate the payback period, and also we need to comment like whether it is good or not. In this question, we can see that we have the data relating to project A, investment we require, which is of 2 lakhs. In this, we have a present value factor, which is of 10%. So here, if we can see, like the PV factor for every year is given. So how we are going to calculate? In this method, first of all, if you can see, we have the cash flow, which is after tax. That means what? Here, the depreciation amount is not added. So what we are supposed to do? First, we have to calculate the amount of the depreciation. We have to calculate the net cash flow, and after that, we are supposed to find out the payback period. So here, you can see in the table, we have profit after tax. We have calculated the amount of depreciation. How we are calculating? The formula is cost minus scrap divided by life of the project. So the amount of cost is 2 lakhs divided by 5. How many years the life of the project is? 5 years. So the per year depreciation amount is of 40,000. That 40,000 we are going to add in the every year's profit. So we'll get the cash flow. Say for example, for first year 65,000 is the profit after tax. We'll add 40,000 in it. So the total amount will be 1,30,000. That will be the cash flow for the first year. Accordingly, we are going to calculate the cash flow for every year. Then in the question, PV factor was given. So how we are going to calculate the discounting factor? We will multiply the cash flow with that of the PV factor which is given. So that is 1,30,000 multiplied by 0.909. So we'll get discounted cash flows as 1,18,170, and accordingly we'll find out all the discounted cash flows. And then as we have learned in the previous method, the cumulative values, we will add all the discounted cash flows and we'll find out the cumulative values. So while calculating the payback period, the formula is same. Nothing changed in the given formula. The only thing is what while applying or while taking the values of the relating to the formula, we have to take into the consideration about the discounted values relating to the payback period. Coming to the next method, which is accounting or average rate of return method. This is also a traditional method where we are considering the rate of return on the investment. That means on the particular investment, how much amount of we are return, that means we are earning. Like for example, on the investment of 2 lakhs, if I am earning 40,000, that means how much percentage return I am getting. In this particular method, we are not considering the cash flows, we will consider the exact profits after tax. So in this method, the formula for calculating the returns is annual average net profit divided by average investments. So here, what are the various advantages relating to this method? First of all, it is easy to calculate and simple to understand, and it considers only the profits relating to the accounting income. Disadvantages, it ignores the cash flows, it ignores the depreciation, and also it ignores the time value of money. Let's see one example relating to the ARR. It's based on the average investment. We have the initial investment of 5,20,000. Annual profit after tax we have for 5 various years, and the life of the project is 5 years. Also the scrap value of 20,000 is given. So we need to find out the average rate of return. For this purpose, first of all, we need to calculate the average profit after tax. Now, what is the formula for average profit after tax? The formula is total profit divided by number of years. Here, we will sum up the profit given for 5 various years and we will divide that with the number of years. The total profit is 2,51,000 divided by 5 will get 50,200 as average profit. Coming to the next, which is step number 2, calculation of the average investments. The formula for calculating average investment is cost minus scrap value divided by 2 plus additional working capital plus scrap value. By applying this formula, we'll get the amount of average investment, which is 2,70,000. And finally, calculation of ARR based on the average investment. We have to divide the amount which we get in step number 1 with that of the step number 2. That is average profit after tax divided by average investment, which means 50,200 out of 2,70,000. We are earning the returns, that is average return on this particular investment is 18.59%. So in this way we can calculate the returns on the investments and we can suggest or we can calculate this of the given projects and we can evaluate like which particular project should be selected. Basically, the project with a higher rate of returns will be accepted. So, in this way, we have learned about the traditional techniques of the capital budgeting, in which we have learned the various methods of payback period and also average rate of return. I hope you understood these traditional techniques in detail. Thank you so much. Thank you.